What if Karkaroff had exposed Lucius Malfoy? Now, Lucius Malfoy had a first trial because he was accused of supporting Voldemort. I'm not sure how it happened, but he went on free because he claimed the Imperious Curse and he got away. But what if Karkaroff later ratted him out? Before we start, I just want to say mostly this is going to be me talking to the camera. We will show a couple of things, but that's mostly going to be it. So you can treat this a bit like a podcast, and it is a story, and yeah. And you might be thinking it doesn't affect Philosopher's Stone that much, or Sorcerer's Stone if you're from America. But if you think about it, Draco Malfoy will most likely be a much better person. And that is mostly what affects our story today. But Chamber of Secrets, a lot will happen differently, of course. So let's get into it. And we will be splitting this into different parts. This is part one of the first book. So we're going to be covering the first half of the first book today. And hope you guys enjoy. So in the book, the first change would happen at Diagon Alley, where in the bookshop he meets Draco at the back of the shop. So I was thinking it might happen a lot differently because the only reason Harry asked not to be in Slytherin is because Draco told him about like Slytherin, which means he talked to Hagrid about it, who said Voldemort was in Slytherin, and so on. So basically, I think. Listen, like Draco Malfoy would be a better person. He wouldn't be a very nice person, but he wouldn't have been like evil. And I don't think he would have necessarily wanted to be a Death Eater. So I don't know if he would like insult Hufflepuff and stuff and so on, but Draco would most likely still say he wanted to be in Slytherin. I mean, his whole family was in Slytherin. Who could blame him? And I mean, I still think he would want power and so on. So in this case, Harry still goes to Hagrid's, asks him about all the houses and stuff. Hagrid still tells him, your parents' murderer were kind of in Slytherin, so, I think that happens more or less the same. So Harry still doesn't like Slytherin. Usually in the book, Draco comes to Harry's compartment in the train and kind of bullies him with Crabbe and Goyle. But I think in this time, he still comes to his compartment, but he just asks questions about him, and Harry either doesn't know them or he just doesn't want to answer him. So Draco leaves him alone. He's a little disappointed, but he won't be too mean about it. Okay, everything happens the same till the sorting ceremony. There'll be a slight change. I think Draco still wants to prove himself, but he wouldn't want to become a Death Eater. His mom would probably still want that, but she wouldn't be like, that's happy about it and want him to be like his father, and I still think Draco would be a better person. So normally it would literally just go on his head and like Slytherin, but now it takes about 5 or 10 seconds, still very quickly, but it's not like as fast. So yeah. Harry still asked the hat not to be in Slytherin, or his mind thinks so. In the book, he asked it to, but he just thinks it in the book. So yeah, basically that's what happens. I meant in the movie he asked it to. But yeah, so he still asked it to, and Harry still put in Gryffindor. So yeah. Here is our first big change. In the book, Malfoy asked Harry to a duel, a midnight duel, where Ron will be his second and Crabbe will be Malfoy's second. In this process, they get caught. Of course, Hermione tries to stop them, and outside they find Neville sleeping because can't bloody remember the password. Classic Neville. Anyway, so basically what happens is they just have a normal day and there's no duel. So basically they don't get in trouble, but they didn't get in trouble, sorry. They ran into Peeves, which ran them out. Filch came and looked for them, but couldn't find him. But they ran into Fluffy. That's where they ran into Fluffy in the book, not the movie. The movie, they obviously stumbled into it when getting to classes. So in this case, they don't find a giant three-headed dog. They don't find Fluffy. They just sleep. Get a little bit more sleep in. Very, very nice for them. But this is going to be crucial later considering they don't know about Fluffy. Now, the next day, usually Neville's Rememberall gets taken by Malfoy with the flying class and thing and stuff. But this time, I don't think Malfoy takes the Rememberall. I think Neville just breaks his wrist because he's Neville and the Rememberall just lies there. Neville's down on Rememberall. Poor guy, but Harry probably just picks it up and takes it to him anyway, so it doesn't really matter. But this time, Harry doesn't get the remember all from Malfoy, and he doesn't fly. So he doesn't get put on the Quidditch team, he doesn't get a broom, which is gonna affect Quidditch majorly, and we all just care about Quidditch. I mean, come on, who cares about the rest of the story, who it is? Oh, I did just remember. The remember all thing actually happened before the night with the duel, but doesn't really change anything. So I just want to say that real quick. I think I stopped recording real quick. Yeah. And of course, the most sad thing ever, we don't get the legendary Hermione line of "You could have gotten killed, or worse, expelled." I don't think I did that right, but you get the point. It's a very sad day. Usually, them and Hermione are not on the best terms because Hermione kept annoying them about the night and how it was their fault, but this time it didn't happen. So Hermione's a bit nicer to them, which is something, and they just get along a little better. And this, of course, Harry doesn't get his Quidditch lesson and stuff. And the next Quidditch match is coming up, and they don't have a seeker yet, so we'll see how that goes. And in the usual Wingardium Leviosa class, I don't know what the levitation spell. Yeah, Hermione and Ron have to work together, and Hermione are just not happy about it. But in this case, they work together quite well, and Hermione helps teach Ron. Ron listens to her Wingardium Leviosa. Not the boy Ron. In this case, Ron doesn't insult Hermione, which means Hermione doesn't go cry in the bathroom. These are some big implications. Then, of course, Quirrell comes down and says, "Troll in the dungeons," of course. And in this case, the teachers just get rid of the troll as usual. No one gets points. Gryffindor doesn't get the 5 points. Such a sad day when they get like 500 at the end. I don't think that's going to matter. But in this case, where the trio usually becomes friends is at the end of this. And since this didn't happen, they're still on better terms than before, but they're not, friends. Hermione, Harry, and Ron are not friends. Well, Harry and Ron are, but yeah. This means we're going into this story without Harry, Ron, and Hermione properly being friends. So that is part 1, guys. I hope you really enjoyed this video. And if part 2 is out, it might be down in the comments. These videos are going to be a little bit shorter, but it's going to be loads of parts. We're going to do all the way up to Deathly Hollows on one condition. When we get 10 likes on this video, I'll make the next one. 10 likes go in, new video come out. So you guys have to hit the like button or video do not happen. There probably isn't a video on the screen because it was probably too lazy to add an end screen. And yeah, so that's basically it. If you guys can hit the subscribe button, that really helps a small channel like mine. Hope you guys enjoyed this video and stay tuned for part 2.